Immigration has announced that they will deport foreigners who interfere with the G20 summit, and they will be using facial recognition to monitor the activities of foreigners in Indonesia and Bali. And welcome to a new baby entering into Bali life. Stay tuned for more details. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is November 9th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. What is the weather like today? It is overcast. It looks like it is going to pour. Yes, it does. And yesterday, my son and I were down in Denpasar to welcome a new arrival to the world, and we got caught in a major storm coming back from Denpasar. I mean, it rained, the road was flooding, we were soaked. We took refuge in first a mini market and then later down the road in a restaurant. And wow, when we got up to leave the restaurant, there was just a pool of water underneath us from our pants, our shoes, everything. It was terrible coming back yesterday. Right now, it is 30.6 degrees Celsius. Wind speed is 12.4 kilometers per hour in Buleleng, in Singaraja. And the humidity is 70%. So hot and humid, mostly humid today, not quite as hot as it's been lately. And the weather is not looking good, unfortunately. And this is Wednesday. I am changing this week because, yes, I am scheduled finally to have cataract surgery on Saturday. And so this will be my last video probably for a week. I have a cooking video of Sue's coming up on her channel, and that will be up in a day or two, and a Singaraja snippet's coming up as well. But in terms of news, not until next Thursday, most likely, and maybe not then. What about COVID numbers? I still can't read the numbers. They were out. But there is a segment that I'm doing on COVID. So let's get started. Immigration to deport foreigners interfering with G20 summit. Indonesia's Director General of Immigration is determined to deport any foreign nationals who interfere with the implementation of Indonesia's G20 presidency in Bali. You know they've been planning this for a long time. Do not get involved in this if you don't want to get into a heap of trouble. Acting Director General of Immigration, Pak Widodo, talked about him many times, underlined this after Jember-class Satu Immigration Office secured a Japanese national who staged a demonstration on Jalan Yos Sudarso, Banyuwangi on Monday, November 7th. The foreigner, identified as TS, 57 years old, was known to have entered the country on October 31st through Ngurah Rai using a visa on arrival for tourism purposes. He then made domestic trips to Jogja, Surabaya, and Banyuwangi, where he staged a demonstration. Pak Widodo said, "We take a firm but humane approach in order to support the successful implementation of the G20 summit. Regarding the foreigner who held the demonstrations, we will immediately deport him for the sake of security and order throughout the G20 activities." Get that? Immediately deport him. They're not messing around here. You get caught doing something involved with G20, you're going to be out of here. The Immigration Directorate General of Law and Human Rights Ministry installed facial recognition cameras at Gilimanuk Port, Bali, to monitor the mobility of foreign nationals ahead of the G20 summit on November 15th and 16th. And let's look at an article on the facial recognition tech. Immigration to use facial recognition tech to monitor foreigners in Bali ahead of G20 summit. Traffic control of foreign nationals is one of the concerns of the Directorate General of Immigration of the Ministry of Law and Human Rights ahead of the holding of the G20 summit here in Bali next week. And as I said, facial recognition cameras have been installed at the port in Gilimanuk. According to a written statement by Pak Widodo, he said, "I request that the coordination and synergy between immigration and national police, military and relevant agencies in securing the G20 summit event are further improved." In this case, the technology is intended for immigration surveillance so that they can identify foreigners that are listed in all points bulletins a broadcast alert from one police station to others in the area, state, etc., as with instructions to arrest a particular subject or red notices from Interpol. So they're looking for people coming in from Java to Bali. That wouldn't be just foreigners. That will be anybody. Facial recognition will also be at the command center that monitors all security officers' activities. According to Widodo, the installation of facial recognition cameras was done by the Indonesian automatic fingerprint identification system to identify faces of passengers that arrive at Gili Manuk. Although the harbor itself is not regarded as an immigration checkpoint, the port is considered strategic for domestic and foreign tourists due to the port's position opposite the island of Java, which takes land tours to various Bali Java tourist sites. Okay. I'm really focused on an upcoming segment here. And so I'm trying to stay focused on everything else. So there's going to be facial recognition. So watch yourself. This is not the time to be doing Bule behaving badly stuff, not this coming week. And one more on the G20 and people interfering with it. Greenpeace Indonesia cyclists intercepted, intimidated amid journey to G20 summit. So a team of cyclists from Greenpeace Indonesia under the Chasing the Shadow campaign were pedaling along through Java on their way to Bali, and they've reportedly been subject to intimidation as they were passing through Probolinggo. One of the cyclists, according to the Watchdog press statement, was told to stop their journey. Who told them to stop their journey? People claiming to represent the local authorities. According to the press statement released yesterday, one of our members in the group was forced to make a legally signed statement that they would not continue their journey and stop campaigning during the G20 summit in Bali. So, not just foreigners. The government is going to crack down on anybody that is going to get in the way of everything looking hunky-dory here. Greenpeace Indonesia says this incident is not the only one, that their team has been subject to intimidation in Semarang too while en route. The perpetrators were either identifiable by their security uniforms that they were wearing, or they were unidentifiable. And the climate watchdog session on a radio station was also interrupted by 7 individuals claiming to be from the police. Various other forms of repression marred the Chasing the Shadow team's trip, with another case prior to Probolinggo that saw their vehicle's tires slashed while it was parked. The statement says it peaked during the trip to Probolinggo. The threats were blatantly clear, either verbally or in the form of tire slashing. Greenpeace considers this action very damaging to the principles of democracy and a violation of the freedom of expression that is guaranteed in Indonesia's constitution. And there are so many stories about G20. They're just everywhere. Every news source is filled with stories about G20 because, hey, this has been planned for a long time. This is Indonesia's chance to shine, Pak Jokowi's chance to shine, and there's all sorts of little things that can get in the way that he can't control, or that the Indonesian government can't control, but they can control people here. And so it looks like they're planning on doing it. And a topic dear to my heart, Bali now has a new resident. My second grandson was born on Monday, I guess it was. And he is resting at the hospital down in Denpasar along with his mother. They are doing fine, thank you. And he's a cute little guy. I'm not a big baby person. I always irritate people by saying, babies, they're all ugly. They get to be cute when they're about 2. But he's a pretty good looking little guy. And so congratulations to my oldest daughter, Mercedes, and her husband, Oban, on a new addition. And hopefully he will grow up into an Indonesia that is strong, and prosperous, and developed. And what about COVID? I said that there was COVID stuff going on, right? Can't see the numbers, but Indonesia pushes for booster vaccination as COVID-19 on rise again. A spokesperson for the health ministry said that Indonesia is not yet safe from COVID-19. Why? The emergence of the new virus variant dubbed XBB, and that has been located around the world. And the other day, Singapore said that they have it there. Obviously, if Singapore's got it, we're going to have it because we get a lot of people coming in from Singapore. And so it's here. According to the ministry, there's only 12 recorded cases of this. In the past week, 30 provinces have reported a surge in positive cases. The government logged about 4,700 to 4,900 additional cases in the past 4 days. The XBB variant spreads faster. We must be vigilant and always protect ourselves, said the health ministry spokesperson. The ministry is advising public to immediately get booster vaccinations to improve their protection against the disease and prioritize health protocols such as using face masks indoors and outdoors. Outdoors ain't happening and almost anywhere. Avoiding crowds, washing hands in soap, and taking a test when having symptoms of COVID-19, most of which people are not doing anymore. And there are some interesting information about XBB still. And according to information that I've been reading on various health sites, the new variant is good at evading the vaccines and also immunity from having COVID from the other variants. And so more research is going to be done on that, and I'll be talking about that more when I come back. And with 2022 getting close to being finished, what about 2023 and the minimum wage? Because, as you know, a lot of people, that's all they get, the minimum wage. Manpower minister says 2023 minimum wage relatively high, so there is going to be a hike in the minimum wage. The Manpower minister said there is going to be a hike in the minimum wage, and the calculation is adapted to data on the country's economic growth and inflation. She said basically it can be seen that the minimum wage will be relatively higher than 2022 based on the data. According to data from BPS, that's Statistics Indonesia, the country's economic growth grew in the third quarter by 5.72%. Inflation, however, was 5.95%. Each provincial governor will announce the provincial minimum wage on November 21st, 2022. And so we can look forward to that. And let's hope there is a big jump in the minimum wage here in Bali. And there are also differences in the minimum wage based on which regency you're in. And what about BPJS, right? I'm using BPJS for my eye operation, and I will be talking about that when I get that done on how that works. BPJS health directors monitor digital services at Balimed Hospital, Buleleng. Balimed Hospital, Buleleng, which is where I went to get diagnosed with the cataracts. I'm having my operation, however, at Kertosada, which is very close to my home. Makes it easier for me to get there and back. BPJS Health Director of Technology and Information evaluated the implementation of BPJS health information at Balimed this week. This was done to ensure that all participants are well served and have easy access to health services. According to him, the use of information technology launched by BPS Kesehatan must be implemented in all health facilities. This is a form of follow-up from many inputs from stakeholders about services available in health facilities. And he said he was happy to see that the online queue system has been implemented well, and that he hopes it will increase satisfaction for participants who visit Balimed. And I used it, and it worked pretty well. He said participants can see the availability of beds by using the online queue service on the JKN mobile application. JKN participants can get a queue number without having to arrive early to the health facility and can get certainty of service hours. He added, after getting the queue number through mobile JKN, participants only need to come according to service hours that have been determined, likewise with the service of bed availability. With the various innovations launched, Pak Edwin hopes that all hospitals, especially Balimed Buleleng, will continue to inform and socialize to all JKN participants in the Buleleng Regency about the use of BPJS Health Digital Service System that's been integrated with the health facilities. And some news on Buleleng. Good news. Tourist visits to Buleleng increased sharply. Domestic dominant. So number of tourists in 2022 has tripled from 2021. Of course, 2021, of course. COVID. We had 224,409 tourists in 2021, and this year so far we have 721,116. Of those, 596,640 are domestic tourists. Why so many domestic tourists compared to foreign tourists? Well, according to Buleleng Tourism Office, it's because foreigners are still recovering from COVID-19 economically, and so we don't have a lot. But, you know, there are a lot of foreigners here. They're just down in the south. Let's be honest about it. Buleleng has never been a hugely popular place for foreigners to come. It's got a lot of stuff to offer, but it's difficult to get to relatively, especially in this season when it's raining. You want to drive through floods and things all the way up here. A lot of people don't. Much easier down south. And there's just more offerings, more restaurants, more hotels, more bars, more this, more that. And it's easy for domestic tourists. If they're driving, right, and they come across the ferry and land in Gilimanuk, they're in Buleleng, right? And they can come to Lovina, just a couple-hour drive to Lovina. They can stay in Pamutaran. There's a lot of different places to stay around here, so easy for them. And according to the head of Bali Tourism Office, the Buleleng Tourism Office, they are focusing right now on domestic tourists because that is the big market. And as I said, Buleleng is low. We just don't get a lot. And where are we? We're in 7th place of the regencies here in Bali. We're just ahead of Jembrana and Klungkung. That's all. This has just never been a big place for tourists to come. And that was the idea behind the airport. For one thing, that the airport was going to bring us a lot of tourists, who knows, but we are not going to see the airport, in my opinion, for quite some time. And according to the head of the Bali Tourism Office, we're studying strategy. Even though the distance between Lake Baratan and Buleleng is not too far, we want the level of visits to increase and have a direct impact on the local community. And we're going to wrap up today with an update on the porn stars because, well, it's still everywhere in the news and they figured out who it is. And so let's take a look. Crazy. After the Red Kebaya, now circulating fun videos allegedly celebrate celebrity Bali. Wow, that is a terrible translation. I should have done that one myself. Well, anyway, what's happening? They found out who the man and the woman are. It's not a Balinese celebrity. It is a woman who comes from Malang, and the man who was arrested is from Surabaya. The videos were not done in Bali. They were done at a Surabaya hotel. They actually tracked the hotel down. Super sleuthing by digital wizards. Good job. And they interviewed the manager of the hotel. He said, I didn't know anything about this. It's not my fault. So according to this first article, there's 3 to 4 pieces of video circulating, starting from the video of the woman taking off her clothes and subordinates in front of the camera to the video of the woman having a nasty scene with her male partner on the sofa. Doing it on the sofa. In the video of the woman wearing the kebaya, the couple are wearing masks, both of them wearing masks. However, in new videos that are surfacing, neither of them are wearing masks. And wow, that was stupid. So the second article, and I've taken these out of many articles, other facts about the suspect of the Red Kebaya actor in the finding of 92 porn videos. So the director of Special Criminal Investigation at East Java Police Station said that they made these videos on their own initiative, but that they got orders from Twitter to make them. So people were sending them orders and telling them what they wanted because of the order content with the theme of a hotel receptionist. So this is a popular thing here, I guess. People like the idea of having a hotel receptionist come in and do the nasty with the guest in their room. The director of Special Criminal Investigation said that they received these requests through direct message, and they order hotel rooms, and they're supposed to demonstrate as if they are hotel employees, or the woman is supposed to be a hotel employee. They show a little quick scene of her knocking at the door. Hello, sir. Both suspects, both alleged porn stars, said that they don't make the videos based on their own ideas. They get the order, and then they make the video based on what the person wants. So these are made to order porn videos, and the location varies depending on the theme. So the 2 content creators, the 2 porn content creators, are not married, but they're dating. Okay, they have a romantic relationship, but not spouses. And that's not good either. And from the evidence of the laptop that was seized, it turns out that they produced up to 92 porn videos, and all of these have been made with their cell phone. Okay, so I wonder if they're using an iPhone or if they're using something like I've got. Pohlmann said it was recorded using a cell phone and sent via telegram. Police are looking for other suspects as well, because they think that there is likely at least one more person involved, because they found one of the videos entitled 1 on 3. What are they making for these? Apparently they don't set the price. For the Kebaya video, they got 750,000 rupees. So that's about $50 US right now for a 16-minute porn video. In addition to the porn videos, there are hundreds of naked photos as well that they were selling. And they said they're using the proceeds for their daily living expenses. I wonder if these two qualify as digital nomads for Pak Sandiaga's dream of digital nomads coming to Bali. Or maybe they're just clever entrepreneurs. They might be welcomed in Canggu, land of the entrepreneurs and the digital nomads. And that is it for today. I love this story. Okay, so that's it. I'm looking forward to my daughter and new grandson coming up here to the north soon. So I'm preoccupied with that right now. Phone calls going back and forth, videos and all sorts of stuff. And my granddaughter is staying down because I miss my mommy. She hasn't seen her for a long time, so she's down there. And everybody will be back here next week. And I will, as I said at the start of the video, be having my operation on Saturday. So I don't know how long the doctor's going to tell me not to be using monitors and cameras and all that stuff, or TVs. I have no idea. Things seem to vary. Doctors in Indonesia tend to be more conservative about this kind of stuff than Western doctors, based on my experience in the past. And to end this, here's my rant. Get these damn huge buses off the road. Don't put them on the road that goes from Singaraja to Denpasar through Badugal. What insanity. We were stuck. There are dozens of them yesterday. And amazing amounts of foreign. These are all not foreign. These are all domestic tourists at these restaurants. And wow, just one huge bus after the next. So I'm not sure why. This is November. Why are we getting so many domestic tourists right now? Do something about the buses. Don't let them go through this little road. Either finish the shortcut and make a big, huge shortcut, get the big buses off the road, maybe use the magic highway that Pak Koster is building over on the West Coast, but not up through the mountains. Oh God, that's just a nightmare. Okay, thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today, stay safe, and I will see you, when I see you. Don't forget, there'll be a cooking video. If you like Sue's cooking videos, one will be coming up on Friday, and there will also be a Singaraja snippets, I hope, by then. And so, see you next time.